Amen. 3 words your father threw at you without explanation. 3 words society now calls toxic. If you're over 40, you've grown up being told our roles were outdated, that providing and protecting wasn't enough anymore, that masculinity itself was the problem. So we listened, we softened, we apologized for being men, and look where it got us. We're now the most successful generation of men in history, and also the emptiest. While we're lost in our own success, we're raising boys who don't even know what a real man looks like. Boys raised by boys, the blind leading the blind. They stripped away our blueprint and gave us nothing to replace it with. But here's what they can't take away: the undeniable line between boy and man. And for the past 8 years, I've guided over 1,400 men across that line. And there are 5 laws that separate the two. Laws that society tried to erase. Laws your father never learned. Laws that turn successful boys into legendary men. And in the next 9 minutes, you'll discover exactly where that line is drawn. But before I go through them, it's important to understand that this isn't a cry for help, right? Like, I'm not here claiming to be the victim of societal change. I'm here to tell men that it's time to rise up with pride, how to stay strong when it can feel like you're being held back. And no, I'm not talking about toxic masculinity. It doesn't put others down for a fake high. What I'm about to reveal is universal law that's been around since tribal days and still stands true. We just got lost in debating what it means to be a man versus just stepping up and being one. Law number 1, a boy waits for permission. A man takes command. Picture this, 2 men at 40, same income, same success. One's scrolling LinkedIn at 11 p.m. at night, wondering if he's made it yet. The other, he's asleep, knowing he has. What's the difference? The boy is still waiting for someone to tell him he's enough. Built the business, but craves constant approval. Closed the deal, but needs someone else's applause. He's 40 with a corner office, refreshing his email like a teenager on TikTok, desperate for validation that never comes. Why? Because no one ever told him the one thing he needed to hear. No one's coming to save you. Every day you wait for permission is another day you hand your power to someone else. You're letting strangers decide who you are and what you deserve. That validation you're seeking, it's not ambition, man. It's addiction, and it's killing the man inside you. But a man, he stopped asking long ago. When they said his idea was crazy, he built it anyway. When they predicted he'd fail, he doubled down. When his mates called him weak for not drinking, he smiled, knowing who he was. Not to prove a point, but because he answers only to himself. Because the moment a boy realizes no one's coming to save him is the exact moment he becomes a man. But most men never make it past this first law. They stay stuck, waiting, hoping, wishing, trapped as boys forever. Law number 2, a boy seeks pleasure, a man seeks growth. Your grandfather didn't have a morning routine. He had work that started before dawn and ended when it was done. He wasn't chasing optimization or hacks. He simply endured and he grew from it. Most guys over 40, they've built a life optimized entirely around avoiding discomfort. Boys believe success is measured by how much pleasure they can feel. So they hack, automate, delegate. They numb themselves. They've engineered comfort so perfectly they're quietly dying inside. But the discomfort you're avoiding is the exact growth you're missing. A man doesn't dodge discomfort, he runs towards it. Not because he enjoys pain, but because he knows the truth. Comfort is where men go to die. I used to line up my escapes like clockwork. Social media when I felt empty, alcohol when I felt stressed, looking at naked women when I felt overwhelmed. My excuse? Everyone else does it. That's when it hit me. I was measuring myself against boys instead of men. The men I admired, they weren't comfortable. They were forged through fire, tested relentlessly. So I followed their example. I leaned into 48-hour commando challenges, Ironman triathlons, yearly Misogi tests, things that made me confront who I was head on. Because comfort wasn't protecting me, it was suffocating me. I gave up my escapes, quit alcohol, stopped numbing reality, and started facing it. 7 years later, I'm not comfortable, I'm alive. Because here's the simple truth most boys never learn. You can't feel strong without lifting heavy weight. You can't feel courageous without facing your fears. You can't become a man while still behaving like a boy. Law number 3, a boy makes excuses. A man takes ownership. I hear so many excuses as to why someone isn't living their best life. Social media killed my masculinity, femininity, destroyed men. My father never showed me how. You know who talks like that? Boys. Boys who are scared to take charge because excuses are comfortable. They let you off the hook, man. They make you the victim, and victims never have to change. But a man looks in the mirror and owns it all. The success and the failure, the wins and the losses. Look at your life right now. Excuses won't build the body you want, fix the marriage you're tolerating, or reconnect with the son who barely knows you. Only ownership can do that. And taking ownership means realizing one powerful truth. If you built it, you can rebuild it. And I remember the day I punched a hole through my car roof. Stuck in traffic, I was late for work. My son was in the back seat watching his father lose control over traffic. For months, man, I drove with that hole above my head. It was a daily reminder I was still that angry boy blaming the world for my own choices. But that's what boys do. They blame the traffic, their schedules, their circumstances. Everyone and everything except themselves. A man doesn't punch ceilings. He owns his mornings, his reactions, his entire life. And as Jocko Willink said, the moment you take responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you can change anything in your life. But ownership without connection is just isolation. Which leads me to law number 4. A boy needs approval. A man needs accountability. You see, boys collect friends who make them feel comfortable. But men, they build brotherhoods that make them better. Look at your circle right now. Are they holding you up or holding you back? Do they challenge your excuses or do they enable them? Because the truth is, man, your drinking buddies need you there so they feel better about themselves. Your high school mates want you relatable, not so successful that you make them look bad. But real brothers care about one thing only, your potential. They don't let you hide behind your success or your stories. They see through your performance. They know when you're full of it, and they care enough to say it. I learned this the hard way. For years, I sought approval in business groups and networks. But I had nobody who'd look me in the eye and say, "Brother, you're capable of more." So I built a brotherhood around these laws, men who refused to let me settle. When I missed morning training, they'd text me, "Where the hell are you?" When I made excuses, they'd tell me, "Nobody cares, man. Just do the work." When I felt like quitting, they'd tell me, "Not on our watch." That's what boys fear and men crave. Brothers who love you enough to demand your best. And as Jim Rohn said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose wisely. And now law number 5. A boy takes, a man provides. Here's the hardest truth most men refuse to face. You're still operating like a boy. Look at your life right now. In every relationship, are you giving or taking? In every room, are you adding value or extracting it? Boys consume, men create. Boys take from relationships, men pour into them. Why? Because taking is what children do. They take attention, resources, love. They have to, it's survival. But a man has evolved from survival to service. And it took me a long time to really accept this. But eventually I realized I was providing everything except what actually mattered. My wife wasn't asking for more money. She wanted to feel safe. She wanted to feel secure. My daughter didn't need a better wardrobe. She needed a more present and loving father. My son didn't need a man telling him how confident he was. He needed to feel it through the way that he held himself. And the shift happened when I let go of needing something from everyone else and instead started giving unconditionally. Because when did you last pour into your wife expecting nothing back? When did you last give your kids your best energy instead of your leftovers? You see, boys take and hope to receive. Men give and expect to serve. Now, the harsh reality is that most 40-year-old guys are still operating with a 14-year-old's mindset, still asking what they can get instead of what they can give. And I'm not just talking about on the home front. This applies to business as well. But the moment you flip the switch, the moment you become a man who provides value instead of extracting it, everything changes. Your marriage transforms. Your kids respect you. Your business explodes. Your legacy begins. And so here we are, the most successful generation of lost boys in history, building empires on sand, raising sons instead of leading them. And right now, AI is coming for your job. Your kids are being raised by screens. Your marriage has become a transaction. And you're scrolling through yet another Instagram reel, desperately hoping this one finally has the answer on how to operate as a man. But brother, it doesn't. The answer isn't out there. It's right here, inside you. It's found in the choice between boy and man, between comfort and growth, between taking and providing. Did you know we're the only culture in human history without a true rite of passage? No ceremony, no initiation, no moment to clearly prove you're no longer a boy, you're now a man. But today, right now, is your moment, is your rite of passage. And these 5 laws are your test. 1. Stop waiting for permission. 2. Start seeking challenge. 3. Take ownership of everything. 4. Build real brotherhood. And 5. Become a provider, not a taker. The boy within must die for the man to rise. There's never been a more crucial moment in history for true men to step forward. And the thing is, the world doesn't care what you choose, but your son is watching, your wife is waiting, and deep inside, your soul is screaming for the man you know you can become. So it's time to stop debating what makes a good man and start becoming one. Because the world doesn't need your opinions, brother. It needs your example. It's time to be a man. And if you're done drifting, tired of empty success, finally ready to cross that line from boy to man, I've created an experience specifically designed to get you there. Over 1,400 men have already reclaimed their lives, their families, their legacy. Now it's your turn. Details on the Rising Kings experience are below. And if you want to know exactly why so many successful men feel stuck and how to finally break free, watch the video I created for you right here. Stay strong.